Hey everybody, this is herculespetix, founder, curator, docent, and gift shop employee of the herculespetix Academy of Comic Book Studies. Today we're going to continue our look at A1, the excellent 90s anthology. We're up to number 4, and we start off with a kind of wicked Simon Bisley cover. This looks like like an Iron Maiden album cover or something. Some cool 90s metal band would use this. Pretty fun if you like Bisley. And let's crack this open. Contents page. So this is so great. They got a Grendel story. You know, at this time, Grendel was just published by Dark Horse, but A1, as we've seen in other issues, they kind of like borrow characters from other companies. So this is a new Grendel story written by James Robinson of Starman fame and penciled and inked by Disraeli, the great English cartoonist. Very unique style. And this is a little short story about that detective from the Christine Spar story arc. I don't remember his name, but he's the guy with the cybernetic eye. And basically this is like a hostage situation. This psychopath has got a cop hostage. And this cop who's been following Christine Spar as Grendel, it seems like he caught the Grendel virus as well. Because that's what Grendel is, almost like a virus. It infects people. And look, he took the mask of Lee Sung. That's from the second story arc of the Grendel comic book. He was Christine Spar's boyfriend. And he basically sends all the other cops away. He realizes that the cops are going to botch it, you know. Someone's going to get killed, so he's like, only Grendel could do this. So he full-on gives himself up to the Grendel identity. And he runs in there just like a maniac. And starts chasing the psychopath around. Have some fun, crazy action here. And he finds the perpetrator, crashes in the bathroom and finds him. And he realizes that he can't kill him. At first, he says, I'm not Grendel. I can't kill in Grendel's name. I'm going to bring this guy down to the station and do it by the book. And I guess this guy's a child killer. So that's why this guy is so willing to totally, get rid of all of his beliefs in justice. Because I think his sister was killed. When he was a little boy, his sister was killed by some crazy pervert or something. And so he thinks, yeah, I'm not Grendel. But then he says, fuck it. And he blows the guy away. I hate child killers. Pretty fun little story. Oh, I guess Grendel was a Komiko then. Never mind. Now we have Hell City by Jamie Hewlett and Alan Martin. And this is a kind of a dystopian city, almost like Blade Runner-esque. It's like a sci-fi noir. Really fun art from Jamie Hewlett, as you'd expect. So apparently this Hell City, there's one superhero for every criminal. And there's a lot of criminals in this town. It's a pretty, it's an urban nightmare. But then one day, Godzilla attacks this giant kaiju. And the narrator is our hero here, this woman. And she basically explains that, yeah, whenever there's a problem too big for the cops or too big for anyone, they call us in. We're like specialists. And she has this little partner here, her subordinate. And so she talks to the local police authority and basically cuts a deal with them. It's like, yeah, we'll give you anything you want. Just take care of this kaiju for us. Sorry about that. So she basically takes her partner and just goes to her palatial family estate. I guess this house has been in her in her family for generations. And basically she's just thinking of a plan to stop this kaiju. She reads up about him in the family library, figures some shit out. Excuse me. She goes to implement her plan. A bunch of superheroes are trying to attack this kaiju. And failing. But she's a lot smarter than all these superheroes. And so her assistant basically has this missile. And I guess there's a soft spot on Godzilla's head. And he gets a hole in one there. A bullseye. And it destroys the kaiju. And of course she gets a huge paycheck. Here. Now this is an odd story for A1 because, you know, A1 is pretty much heavy hitters. It's almost every story is a writer and or artist who any other anthology would kill to have in their magazine. Even if nothing else was good, that would be the highlight. A1's chock full of that stuff. But this is two guys I'd never heard of. I don't think many people have heard of them. It's called The Funeral, story by Andrew Stickland, and art by Richard Barker. But, yeah, there really is a reason these guys have never been heard of. This is pretty bad. I mean, obviously, this guy, kind of interesting art style. Maybe one day he'd be pretty damn good. Looks like he's got chops, but this is just a useless story, basically. Pretty dumb. Curious why it's in here. Maybe these guys are hot shit in England. I don't know. And we have the fourth chapter of Bricktop, story by Chris Smith, and art by Glenn Fabry. And I gotta say, guys, I'm really not liking this series anymore. I never really liked it. But now it's just getting too, I don't know, it's, you know, like, just these four young people, cool people, and just chatting and being cool. It just, to me, it's like a sitcom. It's like a more obscure sitcom. I mean, there are some interesting weird characters pop up. Obviously, there's the alien. But, in this one, they go bowling. The four friends. And Lucy, she finds out that her father works for this vivisection lab that is basically doing horrible experiments, like completely inhumane, ungodly experiments. She confronts her mother, and the mother basically just says, you know, that's how your father makes money. How dare you look through his stuff? She's unfazed, almost like how some women whose husbands are abusive to the children, they just are like, kind of look the other way, you know? And so once again, at least the women are hanging out, and this guy comes out of the alley, and he grabs Lucy, and he's got this giant hypo. And then it's to be continued. This guy tries to abduct Lucy, but fails. Sorry, guys, I'm not really giving it my all on that one. It's just not really worth recounting, that stuff. The art's still pretty nice, though. Okay, guys, this is the big highlight of the issue. In the Heart of the Impregnable Metabunker, A Tale of the Incal, by Alexandro Jodorowsky and Moebius. And this is the weird thing. I know I've read this story before, not in A1. I think this is reprinted in one of the Humanoids books, but I'm pretty sure it's in color. And maybe the art's slicker, but maybe then again, maybe not. But I know the story from the Incal books. So I don't know if it appeared here first. If they made this little short story, and then when they collected the Incal, they said, oh, let's throw that in, this little prequel kind of story. And, or if this is just, Jodorowsky said, hey, you can reprint that little story that appeared in Metal Erlant or something. But, of course, it's great. It's Jodorowsky and Moebius. It's fucking amazing. This is basically like the origin of the Meta Baron. How father and son, father passes down to son the skills, and it's almost like they injure their sons permanently, and then to replace them with cybernetics. So we see the young Meta Baron, his father basically rips his ear off, and part of his brain, which is replaced, of course, by cybernetics. It looks like his father ripped his hand off. And the whole story is being told by these two kind of like comic relief robots. One of them like totally worships the Meta Baron. His circuits are frying because he's so excited about the story to find out the origins of his, his master and hero. And it's just the origin. If you've read the Incal books, I'm positive this is in there. And we see how he meets his, the love of his life. Actually, I think she does become his love, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, though. But she does bring him a child. It's where she just pops up like an apparition and says, this baby's yours. You got to take care of him. The Meta Baron wanted to break the lineage. He didn't want to do to his son what, you have to do when you're a Meta Baron. So he was just like celibate. He vowed never to get married. But he ends up, taking the kid. And you know why the real reason is, though? Because on your 16th birthday, your father basically challenges you to a duel to the death. So either you kill your father and become the next Meta Baron, or your father kills you. So you can understand why he doesn't even want to face that nonsense. Of course, it's got lots of trippy Jodorowsky things. He stabs the baby with a knife, but it's unharmed. And so basically, the story ends with the Meta Baron taking the child. This is a very, basically just like a sketchbook comic. I think Moebius just wanted to draw some stuff like this, and, it's got this little text. It's just fun seeing these quick little sketches by Moebius. There's some cool stuff here. Cool design work. I've never seen this before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is sketchbook stuff. It just looks like pretty dashed off, but it's dashed off by Moebius, so it's beautiful. Great little drawings. Looks like it's Arzak's bird mount, or whatever that thing's supposed to be. Nice. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. Just little snippets of maybe story ideas. Maybe he was trying to almost like free write to work out a story. But I love seeing this, like an artist of Moebius' stature. Oh, I just noticed, guys, look, there's a book binding. So I think this is just, Moebius filled up the sketchbook. It reads like sketchbook drawings, it's not really a story. It's just random things. It's nice. And then, this is from 1974. It's a Moebius interview drawn by Moebius. It says, questions by Numa Sidoni. I'm probably reading that wrong. The lettering is a little weird. Sadul? A comics reporter. And Randy and Jean-Marc L'Officier, translated this, as they do almost all of Moebius' stuff. This is pretty damn funny. This is obviously played for laughs. And not only does Moebius draw the interview, but of course he draws things literally. He puts in fantastical things. So it's kind of way more fun than an interview. And I don't know if the interviewer is actually a real person, because it is. It's almost like their questions to Moebius are all like either, setting him up for the home run where he can make a joke. But they're also kind of sardonic too, where they're just kind of like ribbing Moebius. So I don't know if this is even a real interview or just Moebius being silly. It's fun though. I like seeing Moebius do this zany cartoon style. Looks like he could have drawn for Mad Magazine. Oh, it continues. This is long. This is great. Ask him about his movie work. Pretty interesting. I have a feeling this has probably never been reprinted in America. So this is neat. I don't know if, like, since RJM L'Officier is like kind of Moebius's ambassador to America, because I've never seen him like really write on his own. And this is called The Last Party on Earth. And I wonder if when editors were like, well, you hooked us up with Moebius, so we're going to let you have your own story. The illustrations on this are by Steve Whitaker, who I believe is an English cartoonist. I think I've seen that name in English comics. And this is very like surreal, kind of artsy fartsy. But I mean like, like sophomore, like a college creative writing major would have written this. It's not bad though. It's actually kind of interesting in a goofy way, but it's just, it's not meant to be this great story. It's just like, this guy's kind of goofing, playing around with words. Kind of like this art though. And you might not even tell, but it actually is sequential. Even though it's only a few pages. Yeah, it's 3 pages. Yeah, Steve Whitaker is pretty damn good. Look at this. It's an ad for Deadline, where Tank Girl first appeared. Really nice Jamie Hewlett drawing there. Now we have The Day the General Came. And, actually, I forgot who wrote this. The art is by Phil Elliott. Yep, I guess I'm going to go to the contents. Sorry about that, guys. I thought Oh, this is another James Robinson story. Interesting. And this is a pretty good story. Yeah, James Robinson was a pretty damn good writer when he came out. And then I don't know what happened to him. It was weird. So it's just, it's kind of like this mythical alternate reality, because this is like some Banana Republic country, but obviously there's like sci-fi elements, and these guys look like TARDISes, but very, very strange like little world he's created. Never seen Phil Elliott draw like this. Only seen him do like loose cartoony style, He was pretty good in doing the straight stuff. This looks nice. Oh, the zipper tone and craft tint and all that he's using. So basically there's this horrible dictator running this country. A generalissimo. Pretty good. And then this young kid assassinates the general. Throws acid in his face. Another ad for Deadline. Johnny Nemo These are great comics. I don't know if you've ever read Johnny Nemo, guys. Really good stuff. So we get another nice... oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. This is Bill Sienkiewicz, Emily Almost. And this is kind of poetical. Clouds are nature's pillows, you said. Feathered whispers a mile high. While the rocks are what they are and where they are, to stop the world from floating away. And every page kind of repeats this motif. Just through repetition, it kind of has this almost like song-like quality. Birds are nature's thoughts, and then they are what they are. Rain is vertical wind. I miss Sienkiewicz actually drawing comics. And I'm not talking about all his inking work. He's an ink whore. This is pretty interesting. Dalgota was a character in the early 80s, published by Fantagraphics. I never read him, but Jan Stranad wrote it, the great underground comic writer, who of course later went on to become a, I don't know about great mainstream writer. And it was co-created and drawn by Dennis Fujitake, the great fan artist, who, kind of strangely enough, like never really did anything. Other than Dalgota, he did tons of fanzine illustrations all through the 70s and 80s for Comics Journal. When he was younger, he did them for everywhere. But actually, like, doing comics, he didn't do many. He has a great style. He's a really good cartoonist. Actually, an amazing cartoonist, I think. But I don't know if he was busy, but this one is, like, drawn by Kevin Nowlan, which is probably the only time Dalgota has been drawn by anyone else except for Fujitake. And look at this beautiful Kevin Nowlan art. It's kind of a stripped down Kevin Nowlan, but it looks great. So Dalgota is a sci-fi superhero. And, you know, he gets in little adventures. In this one, he seems to be, he's a movie actor. I guess because he was a hero in this, future Earth. So after he stopped all the aliens, he kind of became a star. And so this is just kind of lighthearted, little incident, humorous incident on this film set. Man, Kevin Nowlan. I don't think I've ever seen him draw this stripped down. But look, I guess it's almost like a clear line. You know, look how wispy, no shading, Dalgota's drawn. But then look at this beautiful, dense backgrounds of this cliff. There too. So Dalgota's like basically talking to his girlfriend about it. He's like, man, this film work is harder than I thought. And we see Dalgota get in a fight with this guy. Kind of got a cybernetic thing in his brain. Robot attacks him. Yeah, it's definitely like playing for laughs. Oh yeah, there's the guy with the cybernetic brain attacking Dalgota. He was an actor on the set, but I guess this evil robot presence entered his brain. And Dalgota basically talks him down. It looks like Dalgota's not much of a hero. He's basically just trying to avoid his punches and run away. And then Dalgota subdues this guy with a water hose. And the guy wakes up from a cybernetic trance. And then we close with Dalgota with his girlfriend. So here we go, guys. Another comic about artists. Script by Graham Marks and art by John Bolton. So this is the third one. These little short stories that all kind of involve art, but they're all kind of like horror stories, little horror stories. So this one, I don't know the guy's name. He says it, but I can't find where. But did you ever see those paintings from the Middle Ages, maybe the Enlightenment, where the guy would take vegetables and fruits and arrange them so that it looked like a face or it looked like a torso? So this guy's looking at him. And this guy's getting nauseous just thinking about it. This is a little more rough-hewn than the other John Bolton stories. I mean, by his standards. Anyone else's would be the most polished art they ever did. But has a little roughness to it. You know, the guy runs in the bathroom, and because his wife said you are what you eat. So it's all of his breakfast stuff, just like the painting from the Middle Ages. It's pretty horrific, actually. It's very ridiculous and silly, but also kind of scary. Oh, Giuseppe Arcimboldo of Milan, from the 1530s to the 90s. And now we have the latest Bo Jeffrey saga. Written by Alan Moore, drawn by C. Parkhouse. And this is Alan Moore indulging of his love of putting musicals on paper. He's done this in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I believe he did this in a Gray Shirt episode in Tomorrow Stories. And so, you know, he has this whole libretto going on. Everyone's dancing and singing, just like in a musical. And it's all about newsboys. It's Alan Moore's take on Newsies, I guess. We see the werewolf, Bo Jeffrey's brother. I think I've mentioned this before, like Alan Moore, I don't know, he's so clever, but he's just not that funny to me. It's pretty rare that I've ever been like, oh, it's hilarious. It's almost like he's too smart to be funny. Sometimes you gotta be a little dumb to be funny. A lot of the lyrics from the Newsboys are making fun of like Rupert Murdoch's papers, those sleazy newspapers. It was breakfast time. The hills were alive with the sound of muesli. So everyone stops singing when the patriarch of the Bo Jeffreys opens his window and says, "What the hell are you guys doing singing? Don't you know what time it is? Shut the hell up." So everyone stops. And so that's it, guys, for A1, number 4. Oop, how could I ignore this? Except for a beautiful back cover by Moebius. Look at the colors on this, just so simple. Well, I mean, the costume's not simple. It's actually quite amazing. But beautiful stuff. So this was like just a huge amount of Moebius in this issue. It was almost like a special Moebius issue. So, I mean, if you like Moebius, you got to get this. And, I mean, if you like comic books, you got to get this. There's a lot of good stuff in here. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the video about A1 number 4, and I hope to see you next time here at the herculespetix Academy of Comic Book Studies.